Well, good morning. So my name is Sean Alexander. I'm Principal Director of Engineering at Microsoft, which means today I feel very uncomfortable being in a suit. I'm normally wearing a T-shirt and flip-flops. I've been working on AI in one form or another at Microsoft for about 15 years. Started off with some of our early work in speech recognition. Was a part of the team that put together Connect, which was our consumer electronics device for Xbox. Did skeletal mapping, motion recognition, facial recognition, and speech recognition, all in a consumer product really brought together for the first time. Over the past 6 years, I've been leading software engineering teams, dev teams building out our Microsoft AI platform. And rather than give you a sales pitch today, what I wanted to do is basically share with you the same conversation that my team is having with C-suite executives, particularly CIOs and CTOs, as they're planning out their own AI strategy. And the conversation always starts like this. What is AI? It means something different to everyone. If you talk to professors at MIT, they'll say it's a suitcase term. That basically what you can do is stuff whatever you want into it, and that comes out the other end. The reality is that machine learning has existed and been in full deployment for over 30 years in areas such as financial services. So what's changed? What's changed now that now all of us are talking relatively over the past 6 years about the importance of AI? And if you talk to folks like PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC's recent report says that by 2030, we're going to see a $15 trillion opportunity with AI. From our perspective, AI really encompasses a suite of tools and technologies that enable one of three things. They enable you to reason over massive amounts of data, which Carl just talked to us about, as we were talking about Sequoia Capital and the work around data being the fuel. It's about being able to derive new patterns, new understanding, where if you were just throwing humans at the problem, you couldn't possibly get to the correct answer. And then there's a third dimension, which is really around natural interaction. It's around speech and vision. It's about the manufacturing floor, where you're able to go ahead and take your mobile phone and identify a tool very quickly or a part, and it makes you more productive in your job. So what I thought I'd do today is basically take you very quickly through a lap of why AI is taking off now. Then I'm going to talk to you about how we're infusing AI into our own products and services. And then what I want to do is share with you some patterns and some opportunities for you to be able to take advantage of AI yourself. As I mentioned, about 6 years ago, there was a major inflection point, this new approach in terms of deep neural network development. All you need to know about that is that this is about three things coming together: massive amounts of data, massive amounts of compute, and massive amounts of algorithmic experimentation that enables new capabilities. And to give you just a sense of how fast this is moving, on the compute level, all of us have our phones, right? Probably get about 24 hours of battery life out of your phone. The amount of compute that can be used to train is growing at such an exponential rate that imagine you could take your phone, you upgrade it next year, and you don't have to recharge the battery for 500 years. Our data scientists used to take them 24 hours in order to run a simulation. Now they can run thousands of years worth of simulation in a single 24-hour period. That should give you a sense of what we're talking about in terms of how fast these changes are happening. So if we think about data being the fuel, here are a couple data points between now and 2020. Just think about a connected factory, 1 petabyte a day of data now available. The question is, what do you do with it? Well, one of the things that we've been looking at is how do we enable, for example, in manufacturing retail, a broad set of new scenarios that take advantage of computer vision, speech, transcription, and translation. Now, one of the crazy things that's happened since 2016 is that we have hit parity in all 4 major dimensions of natural interaction. So the first one that you see here, ResNet, that was our image recognition algorithm that we brought to the industry competition, ImageNet, and swept the competition. The next thing we did, we open sourced it. In fact, most of the major players are using derivations of ResNet for their own image recognition algorithms. Then, for speech recognition, we hit parity and actually improved on parity. The average human off of the street has an error rate of 5.8%. 6 months after we hit that, we hit about the average error rate of a United Nations transcriber in terms of your ability to do transcription. Hugely important to companies where you're doing sales over a phone, and you want to be able to transcribe that for audit and compliance, but also to be able to go back and confirm those orders and even feed that as a new signal into your CRM system. The next two I'm going to very quickly go over. So this is around machine reading and comprehension, the ability for a bot to do a better job than a human in answering a contextual question. And I can tell you right now, there's a number of leaderboards. Microsoft currently occupies more positions on those leaderboards than all of our others and competitors combined. So what this brings us to in the context of IoT is this concept within Microsoft that we talk about in terms of the intelligent cloud and the intelligent edge. The cloud being ubiquitous and being at planet scale, powered by Azure with 54 regions. In fact, just last week, we launched the first data center in all of Africa, and enabling a suite of solutions that use IoT sensors that are going to be ubiquitous as 5G especially comes online and provides those petabytes of data to be able to go ahead and fuel and improve these experiences. So if we look at that, Microsoft's investments are in one of three categories. Actually, all three. The first is in terms of our AI platform. The second one is in terms of infusing AI into our own products and services. And the third is in enabling you with business solutions where you don't have to have data scientists on staff. If AI is doing its job, you're providing the data, it's just there and helping you to do your job more efficiently. So in the first area, the AI platform, what we have done is built basically a suite of solutions that enable any developer to become an AI developer. We have a suite of 10 solutions that cover everything from translation, transcription, image recognition, and knowledge management, all of which are available to you free of charge to be able to go ahead and do experimentation. And then from there, as we think about infusing AI into our own products and services, we have a broad knowledge base of data that's available off the open internet, and then within your own organizations and your customers' organizations through Microsoft 365 and Office 365, those signals now become available to pre-trained AI services that are available as SaaS solutions. As I mentioned before, if AI is doing its job, you don't even know it's there. So to give you a couple of quick examples, the work that we initially did on Connect for doing facial recognition is now a part of the biometric security that you have with Windows Hello built into Windows 10. Handwriting, another great example. But one that you may not be thinking about is this: if you've ever gone to a website in a web browser and got a message that it was blocked because it looked malicious, in many cases, that's a deep neural network inside of Windows 10 running, identifying patterns where it says, hey, this doesn't look right. I'm going to preemptively block it and see, do you really want to go to this website? And then anonymously, across hundreds of thousands and millions of those instances, our cybersecurity team has another layer of AI that reasons over those patterns, and our cyber team, actually human in the middle, continues to review those challenges to identify if those are particular problems. Other areas. With Excel, we just added the new Excel Ideas feature to Office 365, where I can take a pivot table or data cube, point it at Excel Ideas, and it will show me graphs based upon different domains in terms of insights and outliers in the data that I might not have been able to see myself. And PowerPoint Translator now gives me the ability to translate into over 40 different languages, subtitled and transcribed as I'm talking. And those are just a couple of different examples. So let's bring it back to IoT and where to start. So with Microsoft, we have a comprehensive platform for IoT in Azure. We have our IoT Sphere product as well, which is our first Linux distribution, which enables secured, hardened IoT solutions on device. We're very excited to be working with Ingram Micro in terms of bringing these IoT products into the marketplace with Azure. But as we think about where to start, I want to share with you a slide that I show to a number of different CIOs and CTOs who all say that's great, but where do I start on my AI journey? If AI is just a tool, how do I know where to apply it? What we've done is develop this kind of thought process in terms of the first stage is you have to make sure that your data state is in order. That means moving it into the cloud and then starting to schematize it so you have the data in ways that you can use it using tools like Common Data Format. We want you to be able to bring your data from any different source and then be able to plug it in. And you can drop in at any point, depending upon the problem that you're trying to solve on this schema. So the first one in BI and apps, this is about Power BI. This is about deriving new insights and advanced analytics from the data that you already have within your organization or your customer's organization. What I often see is that customers will now look at Dynamics 365 and the work that we're doing in AI around sales, marketplace intelligence, and customer intelligence, taking the same infrastructure that we built over the past 5 years for Microsoft support, and now making that available as a part of our Dynamics offering. So in effect, pre-trained AI services. The next area is around AI accelerators, and this is where IoT comes in. So we have a full suite of IoT accelerators designed by industry that enable you to, whether you're in, for example, manufacturing or in retail, any number of different scenarios, we are building out a broad set of accelerators which basically allow you to publish directly into Azure and Endpoint, and then be able to go ahead and stub out a solution and customize it for your customer. And then we have a fully industry-compliant, fully open platform when it comes to doing deep machine learning with Azure ML, where I can literally spin up hundreds to thousands of CPUs and GPUs to train up my algorithms, and then spin them down, just spending money for the time that I'm actually doing that training. So 3 recent customers that my team's been working with, I wanted to give you just 3 quick shots in terms of examples of where AI is there and you don't even know it. Most here from the United States know Flo, the Progressive insurance person. They built a persona around her for 10 years. We actually helped them to build the Flo bot for Progressive insurance websites, actually running on top of our Azure bot service. And she has snark. She has humor. She has a personality. And that's something that we worked very closely with the team in order to build into the platform. Another one is KPMG. As I mentioned, speech recognition, very important to them as they think about audit and compliance for the financial services customers. So now they have a full customized solution using our custom speech service that in the financial services sector, we actually pre-train it, not just for the nomenclature of financial services, but also for the individuals themselves, so that we can identify through voice print the individual trader who is doing the trade as it's happening. And that's all running through the Azure cloud. The last one, which brings it back to IoT. Carnival Cruise Lines has a particular challenge in terms of efficiency of running the cruise ships. The challenge is how much water do I bring on for each of our tours? What they've been doing is taking signals from their CRM systems, looking at everything from the data on previous customers, looking at what regions of the world they're coming from, and also looking at the historical demand load. And actually, they have a machine learning prediction algorithm that tells the team, the engineers, how much water to bring on board and how much desalination they need to anticipate during the actual cruise. Now, these all started as code with exercises between our developers working closely with these big customers. But the beauty of it is that you are going to get to take advantage of these, and we're infusing the learnings from all of these solutions into Microsoft 365, Office 365, and D365, as well as our IoT solutions. So in the interest of time, I know you're all hungry. I'm going to pause on showing the video, but what I'd like to do is talk for a minute about opportunity and responsibility. Earlier this morning, we talked about how important trust is. Trust in your data. Trust that when you put your data into a cloud, that the data is secure and that it's not being used by others. We believe that with opportunity around AI, there is a tangible need for responsibility. That's part of the reason why we launched the $50 million AI for Earth effort, where we're providing grants to different research institutions and conservationists around the globe, and then taking the work that they've done and figuring out how to apply it to business in ways that amplify for human good. The last thing I wanted to leave you with here was 3 resources that I encourage all of you to take a look at. The first is we're going to provide you a link on the website here for a book that our chief legal counsel and president wrote, along with my boss, Harry Shum, who's our EVP of AI, which goes into the big blocks of how to think about ethics within your organization. Every organization needs to be thinking about not just regulatory and compliance, but ethical review of how your data is used and how your systems and platforms are used. And we're actually doing that as a process from Satya, our CEO, all the way down. The other one, which we just launched this week, is the Microsoft AI School for Business. We have heard from business leaders like you from around the globe that there's a need for a set of, basically a master class in how I think about infusing AI into my own business strategy. So what we did on Monday is we've launched with INSEAD, which is one of the largest graduate schools in Europe. a curated set of snackable content that you can go ahead and check out, and it will provide you with the patterns and best practices on how to adopt AI for IoT and beyond. And the last, I want to bring it back to the intelligent cloud and the intelligent edge. If data is the fuel, IoT devices by far will provide the greatest volume of fuel for the next generation of solutions that are going to be powered by AI. We're tremendously excited to be working with all of you as a part of this journey, and I encourage you to take a look at the resources that are available. I'm on LinkedIn, also on Twitter. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Thanks very much.